In today's top story, Melania Trump just threatened to sue Hunter Biden, and it was all over this. That's right, the scandals just keep getting worse for the Trump administration. How's it going, everybody? Hunter Avallone here with Occupy Democrats. Welcome back to another video. Now, Donald Trump's entire view of the law is incredibly warped. I mean, in Trump's America, if you raid the Capitol, you get a government job in Trump's administration. But if you throw a sandwich, you get a felony.
So President Trump has vowed to make D.C. safe and beautiful again. And as part of his effort to fight crime, he's bringing in our federal law enforcement partners like FBI, ATF, DEA, or Park Police, everybody to help the Metropolitan PD fight crime. And the president's message to the criminals was, if you spit, we hit. Well, we didn't quite do that the other night when an individual went up to one of the federal law enforcement officers and started jumping up and down, screaming at him, berating him, yelling at him. And then he took a Subway sandwich about this big and took it and threw it at the officer. He thought it was funny. Well, he doesn't think it's funny today because we charged him with a felony, assault on a police officer. And we're going to back the police to the hilt. So there. Stick your Subway sandwich somewhere else.
Even his actions in D.C. are pathetic, and they're being blasted.
Speaking on my own behalf and not on behalf of my employer, as far as I know, the chain of command has not changed, at least for the day-to-day police officers in D.C. The emergency federalization doesn't make a lot of sense to me because deploying these National Guard troops to D.C., I served as a Virginia National Guard member for 6 years, and I can tell you that this is not what they're trained to do. Soldiers are trained to fight and win wars. We're not in a war out here in D.C. It's there's crime out here, but it's not a war-torn hellscape like Trump has said. It's the troops are not trained to do law enforcement. This is not their lane. This is not what they're supposed to be doing. Yeah, I'm not aware of any enormous events that warrant the deployment of hundreds of National Guard units for crowd control. With regards to federal partners, we could always use more hands, but I don't think this is really their specialization either. So many of these federal officers are investigators. They're supposed to be behind a desk, working that way, but they're not. You're going to see them standing around in Chinatown or on the mall or walking around Georgetown. They're not going east of the river. They're not doing what really needs to be done around here for help. So it could be helpful, but I don't think it's going to be.
And now Melania Trump has just threatened to sue Hunter Biden all over this. Take a look at today's top story.
Epstein introduced Melania to Trump. The connections are like so wide and deep. Anyway, why do we think they don't want the files released?
Tonight, the Jeffrey Epstein scandal is now reaching straight into the East Wing, and Melania Trump is threatening to go nuclear. The First Lady has issued a blunt legal threat to Hunter Biden, demanding he retract comments linking her to Epstein or face a lawsuit. In a letter obtained by Fox News Digital, her attorney Alejandro Brito blasted Biden's remarks during a recent interview with journalist Andrew Callahan, where Biden claimed Epstein introduced Melania to Donald Trump. The comments, Brito says, are false, defamatory, and extremely salacious. The letter warns Biden that failure to comply will leave Mrs. Trump with no choice but to pursue any and all legal rights and remedies available to her to recover the overwhelming financial and reputational harm that you have caused her to suffer. Biden's interview has been viewed millions of times online, and in it he cited author Michael Wolff, the same author who recently released bombshell tapes of Epstein claiming Trump liked to sleep with his friends' wives and first slept with Melania aboard the infamous Lolita Express. The First Lady has flatly denied this, repeating the long-standing Trump claim that they met through modeling agent Paolo Zampoli at a New York Fashion Week party in 1998. The timing is telling. Donald Trump is already on the defensive, facing an onslaught of Epstein-related headlines. Melania's aggressive legal posture mirrors her husband's frequent use of litigation to try and intimidate critics. But legal experts point out that defamation suits by public figures are notoriously difficult to win, meaning this move might be less about the courtroom and more about political damage control. For now, the First Lady is making one thing clear. She's willing to threaten legal war to push back on Epstein allegations. But with the scandal snowballing and more damaging details surfacing by the week, it's unclear whether a strongly worded letter will be enough to stop the political bleeding. Thanks so much for watching. Please click that like button and subscribe to Occupy Democrats so that you can stay informed and help us stop Donald Trump.